believe they're lost today. So I just joined this communal house. So fun facts about Jordan. I like long walks on the beach and walking in the park, and I like dogs. So like I like dogs. So maybe I'm a dog. Fun facts. So born, I have a brother named Samuel, a sister named Hannah. She is 6 years younger than I am. My parents were married young. I was born a year after they were married, and I think that caused a lot of like intermarital weirdness, because they're weird people. They're great, but they're weird. And so they, around we were younger, they split up, and we ended up living in public housing for a little bit in St. Paul. And that didn't really cause us to go to church, so we went from churches and checked everything out while our parents were split up. They eventually got back together when we were older. I don't know how to, I'm trying to figure out how to format this right now. So they split up for a while. They got back together. It was a good time. It's awesome. They're together right now. They own a house. Woohoo. That's one fun fact. Public housing. Other fun fact, our mom is diagnosed with bipolar, and that's been a weird thing to live with, and not seeing my mom as my mom, but as like someone that is sick, and I have to move around and think of her depression, and like, that's not her. That is like her brain making her feel sad and like angry, and figuring out how to move around that as a kid and as an adult now, whether or not I should actually stand up and fight with my mom about something dumb, or like her being irrational, which isn't fair to me because I'm her kid. That's another fun fact. I play cello. Greg said that. Yeah. So for the longest time, I thought I was going to do music and art and live in that world. But every time that I went and tried to do that, I couldn't. It was a door that was never open for me. It just didn't work out. And finally now, after like years of realizing it's not what I'm supposed to do. I can keep it as a side, but it's not who I am. It's not what I care about. I care about people the most. Like, I want to go work with kids. I want to be a teacher. And yeah, fun facts. That's the premise. That's kind of who I am. So, moving on. I graduated high school 3 years ago. That year was great. It was fun. But graduation was hollow. I was just kind of bored. It was dumb. And I didn't care about things. It was just moving on. So I went to community college after that, after being denied to go to a state school or a regular college. So I did that for a year. My girlfriend was still in town, and we just kind of went through the motions. Like, it became very boring. I don't think I went to church at all. I worked at a coffee shop and went to community college part of the time, where I didn't think I fit in because I'm a white middle-class male. Like, wow, that sounded awful. But privilege, right? Poor me. But I did that, and I felt bad about it all the time. I felt like I didn't fit in, and my life wasn't going anywhere. I was like, God, what is this? I think I broke down one day because I missed a paper. I sat in my kitchen just aimlessly, like, what am I doing with my life? And I don't think I prayed. I'd say I called out in my self-pity and loneliness, and the year continued. This was maybe after Christmas, and that summer I got a call in the middle of, I wasn't doing anything. My summer I planned to just work at the coffee shop and pretend like everything was fine and just keep on not going to church and not thinking about other people and just living in my own little world. I got a call from a friend working at a camp. He was like, hey Jordan, do you want a job? You're gonna work with kids and work with, like, talk about Christ and stuff. And I was like, sure, that's awesome. That's better than I've been doing anything. Like, and that night I filled out the application, drove up to Upsala, Minnesota the next day, and worked with kids all summer, and it was the best experience of my life. Like, I had direction, I talked to people, I actually talked to God, which I hadn't done for years, because we grew up in the church, and church was working, and church was helping other people. It wasn't, well, that's good to help other people, but it wasn't me learning who God was, or like feeling God's presence. It was always very like, this is who God is, and that was it. it wasn't feeling anything.
Um,
Since working at camp, I found Corner and I found a job here, and it's been awesome. And I've been surrounded by this community that cares about people, cares about God, and I'm allowed to work through my salvation with fear and suffering. And it's the best thing I think I've encountered in my adult life is other people in a community that care about people. And yeah, I don't know, the biggest takeaway that I've ever thought of in my life and like who God is to me and how God fits in my life or how I fit in God's plan is I don't listen. I pretend like I will and I will ask God to give me a sign. But the biggest signs have always been a drastic change. Like I won't listen. Like I look for little things like someone says this here, this, there, but it's never been the best. It's always been about, here's this Jordan, here's this thing, do this thing, and that's how I listen to God. And yeah, God's there, God's awesome. And I'm still working through that and with a group of people. And it's been really good. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yay.